All right, I think we are live. So, first of all, I am very excited for this one. And it's lovely when you have a good old friend on the other side, Sandeep Nailwal. Sandeep, welcome to this AMA. And this is a live one. So, thousands of listeners are hearing you live on this one. And many Indians know you. You don't need any introduction, but everyone knows the incredible work that you have done over many, many years for the global Web3 ecosystem, as well as to take India to the global Web3 stage. So first of all, I want to start by saying thank you for all the great work you have done for all of us. And this one, I'm loving it. This format I'm trying for the first time, and I'm excited because it's you on the other side, a good dear friend of mine, and we have both learned from each other over the last many, many years. So thank you for taking this one.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Sumit, for all the kind words, and right back at you. Whatever, all the good things that you said about me, they all apply to you also. Uh, and yeah, I think we go long back, and when we were starting the India Web3 ecosystem was literally non-existent, and we have had our own journeys to wherever CoinDCX and wherever Polygon is today. And I say that this has been a good beginning, but as they say that this is the starting game or beginning game. Mid game is just getting started, and we have all the opportunity and tools to make it bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. Lot more work to be done. Sandeep, honestly, if I look at your journey, I see you as someone who has actually bridged the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. While CoinDCX has onboarded masses, to crypto, and drive the adoption of this technology, but I think you have actually made solid moves, big partnerships. I think one thing that Neeraj and I discuss about Sandeep is that he has actually gone like mega brands to crypto, like Starbucks, Geo, Reddit, very popular brands. You got them to blockchain. So one question that often comes to my mind is, "Kya, matlab, what is the secret sauce? Like, how are you able to pull all this off?" And I think during the good old days, like 4 or 5 years back, I think 2020, 2021, back-to-back partnerships, and every day was like you guys were in news. And I think that is one thing phenomenal. And you, with those partnerships, you've actually gotten like people to use crypto, not just like for speculation, but also for the real world usage and mass adoption. I think that's phenomenal. I have seen your journey very closely. You have, I think one thing I'd love to know is that, tell me about the journey of Sandeep Nailwal. Like, where exactly were you like 8, 10 years back? And I know when I was meeting someone last week, and he was telling me that, and of course I know it, but it's all out there. A lot of people know you. That what? Tell me about your background. Where were you like 6 to 10 years back? What happened? What made you start in this space? And just take us through that. Things that people
Yeah,
don't know.
so like 8, 10 years back, I actually 15 years back, I actually graduated from my engineering, and at, during the last 3 or 4 years of engineering only, I had cracked some big projects like now, software projects. So BJP Delhi, at that time they were not in power, but
Okay.
they actually found something that we had built for our university, and they said that they want to use it for the election commission's data and do the analytics on this thing, that thing. So this is 2009. I did that, and that started a kind of a journey where the GTM for what I was doing at that time, like we were still doing e-commerce, the websites, content management, kind of this thing. That time it was the hip thing, like the open source
Huh.
content management frameworks, use them to build like educational, it used to called MOOC, like multi online educational, you know softwares and
Hmm.
all that. So many things, that so many frameworks were coming at that time, and we used to use them to build these products and all that for clients initially. Then I, joined software engineering. Something happened with my, previous, that particular company, the startup I wanted to start in 2009-10 only. Then I went to my MBA from, now it's IIM Mumbai, NITI Mumbai in 2012. Graduated from there. I thought that, okay, I want to go more on the business techno functional side and learn that side more. I was not enjoying doing, minute engineering related work. And that led me to Deloitte for very small time. I did not like, they started putting me in the, some IT projects and all that. I said, like, no, no, this I don't want to do. Then I went to completely switched over to something where e-commerce was like in 2015, 15, actually, e-commerce was on the boom and all that. And so already it was pretty big. I mean, Flipkart and all these Snapdeals and these of the world were there. But I thought that maybe I should go to some enterprise e-commerce, because all the enterprises were launching their e-commerce websites and all that. And so I went into that and became like the CTO, and I was also leading supply chain for them for e-commerce, and that I did for 1 year. That gave me a lot of confidence that I can run the business at this scale. That's it shouldn't be a very big problem. और उसके बाद then just doing it 1 year, I said that, okay, now, I mean, I also, I have said that in many podcasts also, that my wife, now my wife, she only, yeah, I mean, I come from a very uh, I would say very underprivileged background back in the day, and I had all these student loans and all that, both MBA and this loan. So I plus, छोटी बहन की शादी करानी है, ये है, वो घर रेंट पे रहते हैं, घर भी नहीं है, family have to put food on the table for the family. बहुत सारी चीजें थी, but my wife said that you will never be happy doing this job thing, because I was doing part-time startups all this while, right? Like GPS related startup to then e-commerce startup to herbal and Ayurvedic e-commerce, and so many things I did. And then she was like, you should simply quit and do this only. And it's okay. Like, if we don't have a house and all that, we can live on rent for the entire life. And she was also earning by that time. So it was not that bad as it sounds. But in my head, it was like I had so many things to do. So one investor who was tracking me for quite some time, he wanted to invest in my business. He said that, he agreed to invest, I think 8 lakh rupees, like $10,000 right now, and which was because I was supposed to take $50,000 monthly salary, 50,000 rupees monthly salary, which is like, it will cover my loans, and then I will give 10-15,000 to my family so that they have food and they can pay their rent. And my plan was that I will live with my friends, somebody, because it was I am Mumbai friends, right? So NITI Mumbai, so everybody had at least a rented apartment in Mumbai and all that. I will go and crash with somebody and then work from there. So that's where then I started, and I started a actual like full-time startup. The first time was Copever. It was a B2B marketplace, just like you have Alibaba for manufacturing in China. My mind was that we'll build, Alibaba for services, because India is a large services economy, and it went well. But problem is that I became in anybody who has done any services startup, they will tell you that even though you try to productize the whole thing, but it's actually the guy in the middle that everybody, both sides are trusting. Vendors are bringing everything to the client if they are having a fight, and which happens a lot in services projects. So I said that this will not scale, and I did not leave everything to do a startup, which is it makes good money, but I'm not able to scale. My goal was to scale at the global scale. Like, what can I do at the global scale? And then I was reading the deep tech startups and about deep tech. I did AI initially, like not many people know, but I did very small. But 1-2 months, I spent a lot of time in AI. But I thought that I don't have a co-founder, and it's already very technical, so I can't, and I have left engineering for 3-4 years by that time. So I said that I'm on extreme disadvantage on this one. So then I landed back on Bitcoin, which basically I had read about Bitcoin before in 2000. Huh?
Which year was that when you
This
read
was
about
early 2000, end of 2015 and early 2016, roughly, December, January. You can say January of 2016. And it was the third time Bitcoin came to me. First time I read about Bitcoin was 2010 on some Reddit and all that, and I actually completely forgot about that. And recently, I met a friend from my college, like engineering college, after 10 years, 12 years actually, 2 3 years back, 2 years back, I spoke with him, and he said that, bro, like, I mean, obviously by that time Polygon had become Polygon, but he said that, bro, you remember that हम दोनों वहाँ वो सीढ़ियों पे बैठे थे, and you were telling me, because I did not have a laptop with me, and my, like, I have had to, even though I was doing computer science, I have to go on the lab and then do or ask somebody, borrow computer from my friends and all that. And I had asked him apparently that you give me your laptop, I will mine Bitcoin on your laptop and it will generate some money. So this is 2010. I completely forgot. When he told me also, I thought that maybe, like, and maybe he's hallucinating. Somebody else told him this, but this is what he said. I have zero recollection of that. But I do. But when I was in during the MBA, at that time in 2013, I again, saw Bitcoin again. Bitcoin was in the second, cycle after the halvening cycle would have happened in 2012. And 2013 में जब वो जो दूसरी cycle आ रही होगी, तो Bitcoin was again in the news and all that, and I said, oh, Bitcoin, let's. And then I thought that, okay, I can set up this mining rig and all that in my laptop. By that time, I had laptop by that time, in 2013, and then I said I set up the Bitcoin node and all that, but only later I realized this hash power, like I cannot mine anything on a laptop by that time. So I shut it down, but I tried to read about Bitcoin at that time. And I thought that it was a complete scam because, this has value, but the value is only in the eyes of the people. If everybody believes that this has value, then it will have value. There is no underlying value. And we come from a very utilitarian, background in India, right? It's a very utility based economy because, like, obviously we are coming from a hard times of in the last 10-15 years, or the last 1,000 years, or even like especially last 300-400 years as a culture. And that's why I left it there, never touched it. In 2016, it came early January 2016. When it again came back to me, I was like, this thing keeps coming back. There has to be some truth here. And I was already reading the deep tech. Then I read that and I said, oh, this is big. This is big. This is basically these guys. My thesis was these guys figured out a computer which is run by multiple people, server basically, which is run by multiple people, not one person. And you do simple payments here. But if you do large, complicated business logic also in something like this, where nobody controls, it's run completely by a computer. And I think after 1 or 2 months to that, Ethereum DAO hack happened. And that's first time I heard about Ethereum. When I heard about Ethereum, oh, this is a Turing complete programming language which you can do. I said, this is this. And then at that time, I think it was February or March, I immediately, next 2 days, I wrote a very long mail to all the clients of that B2B company that I will be shutting this down. I will hand over. Don't worry, for next 6 months, I will keep running this and I will make sure your projects are not hampered, but I am completely leaving this space and going here. And that's it. That's where I...
Man, what an incredible journey. Actually, I've seen your journey from outside. Even when we were about to start CoinDCX, like the early years of CoinDCX, I've seen like a big Binance launchpad, Matic being sort of all out there in the news, and just keep hitting all-time high. A lot of people, by the way, know Matic, and it was very, very popular. Like I, as an investor, CoinDCX, of course, was a smaller company back then, but it was all around and it was looked at as one project which has sort of gone to like multiple $billion. I think what, 15-20 billion dollars. And from the background that you're coming from, and I think we have discussed that you come from a very humble background where there was a 10 by 10 house and the family was there. All the way from there, Sandeep, to now अभी आप एक $1 billion कंपनी चला रहे हो, right? कभी दिमाग में, like, isn't it like a different feeling when you see that it has done, you have done so much in just like what, a decade or so, and now it's a global powerhouse that you're running, and you're still like seem like a normal person? Because I think all the people that are watching this right now, I think a lot of people can relate to the story because they also have those aspirations, right? And they are not tinkering around with this space because they feel that at some point they would want to sort of learn something from you and eventually either want to start up or get familiar with the blockchain technology and not miss out, like how you did in the first and second chance. So I think it's an incredible journey. But how does it feel like running a multi-billion-dollar company, and that too from India, but now running it globally?
See, for some days it feels very, very good initially when you go there. Okay, you have arrived, you have a new, your perception of yourself, like, internally, I'm saying, subconsciously you think, okay, no, I am doing something and all that. But beyond that, I think that lasts for 1-2 months. And I think, Sumit, you would completely relate to that. Like once you reach these billion-dollar valuations, and Polygon became like $30 billion at peak, right? So
Right.
for a few days it feels very good and all that. But I think as human being, once you go to a summit, you start looking at the next thing. Like, what is the next thing? What is the next thing? What is the next thing? Human brain keeps moving. Even I would not even call it greed also. Like, when many times might think of it as greed, that no, I mean, I have zero, like, obviously when I did not have money, I needed some money, right? Like, but once I reached the base stage, I come from a spiritual kind of like background, like growing into a Indian Brahmin family where you are reading all these scriptures and this and that in the early days. So I could very, very quickly, I got like, okay, this is good. This is good enough. This helps me. My family can live a safe life. Health, if anybody has health issues, I can make sure that they have medical care, all that. Beyond that, I completely forgot about this. अच्छा, तो देन उसके बाद, बट एक बार आप वहां पहुंच जाते हो, उसके बाद आपके पास बहुत ज्यादा ये आपको एक्साइट नहीं करता, फिर आपको नेक्स्ट गोल्स बनते रहते हैं, और गोल्स मॉनेटरी गोल्स नहीं. अब एक जगह पे पहुंच गए, अब जैसे कॉइन डीसीएक्स में आप, सुमित, एक जगह पे पहुंच गए, राइट? पर आपके मन में होगा कि यार मैं इससे बड़ा, अच्छा, इंडिया का नंबर 1 बन गया, अब मैं इंडिया में ऐसा बनूंगा कि कोई और दूर दूर तक नहीं है, वो भी पहुंच गए, कि अब नंबर 1 मतलब नंबर 1 बाय 10x मार्जिन. ओके, अब तुम्हारे दिमाग में होगा कि यार ग्लोबल पहुंचना है, यार ग्लोबल कैसे एक्सपैंड कर सकता हूं. तुमने यू केम टू MENA region also, and acquisitions and this and that, but you are constantly thinking, because growth is, for any business, growth is the thing. But very interesting thing, Sumit, I want to ask you is, when people ask me कि यार when you were there in 10 by 10 के कमरे में 5 लोग रहते थे, एक 1 room kitchen बोलते हैं, BHK नहीं है वो, 1 room kitchen, वो भी किसी की दिल्ली में आप छत में रहते थे हम, जैसे ना लिटरली आप लोग अपने घर में जो दिल्ली और अपने जीरो से घर बनाते तो ऊपर एक कमरा बना देते हैं, वहां पे रहते थे, क्योंकि हम ओरिजिनली तो उत्तराखंड से हैं, और हम बहुत सारे, उत्तराखंड was one of the poorest states. I think even now it is, people migrate to Delhi and all that, so that's where they live, in somebody else's house and all that. And my point is, like, when people ask me, did you ever think कि इतना you will be running इतनी बड़ी company and ये सब चीजें, and my answer, and this is the question I want to ask you also, in my mind, when they ask me, did you ever think, क्या तुमने कभी सोचा भी था ऐसा हो पाएगा, in my mind I always knew that it is going to happen, right? I mean, if you ask my friends, मेरे कॉलेज के दोस्त और ये वो मेरा मजाक उड़ाते थे कि अरे वो बड़ी डील हो गई तेरी, ये हो गई, वो इस टाइप की बातें करते थे, क्योंकि मेरे दिमाग में मैं वैसे ही उनसे बात ही वैसे करता था. मुझे लगता था कि यार नहीं, मैं तो ये करने वाला हूँ, ये करने वाला हूँ, कैसे होगा कुछ नहीं पता, बट पता था कि ये होगा. तो तुम्हारे दिमाग में, सुमित, ऐसा था क्या कि बचपन से यू ऑलवेज हैड इट कि यार मैं तो कुछ बड़ा, कुछ तो करना है मेरे को, कुछ तो मचाऊंगा और कुछ होगा, बट क्या होगा पता नहीं, बट कुछ होगा?
यार ऑनेस्टली संदीप, मेरे को लगता था कि यार मैं मेहनत तो करता हूँ काफी और कुछ ना कुछ तो बड़ा करूंगा, बट ये नहीं पता था कि एक्चुअली हो जाएगा या फिर आई विल डू समथिंग मीनिंगफुल विद माय लाइफ. आई वाज जस्ट लाइक गुड एट गोइंग आफ्टर व्हाटएवर गोल आई हैव सेट, एंड मतलब मन में था कि यार कुछ तो मचाना है, कुछ तो बड़ा करना है, घर वालों का नाम रोशन करना है. इट वाज ऑल कमिंग फ्रॉम क्या, घर वालों को थोड़ा हैप्पी फील कराना है, वो मोटिवेशन होता था. बट मेरे को पता नहीं था ऑनेस्टली कि, और अभी भी नहीं लगता मेरे को ऑनेस्टली, अगर आप देखोगे ना, मेरे को लगता है यार अभी तो कुछ भी नहीं किया, अभी तो बहुत कुछ करना है. We are same, like, we want to do more and more and more, and I think this is what's special about.
It's very different. If you ask me, like, even though because maybe, and this is also, for people who have kids, maybe मेरे घर में भले ही मैं बहुत ही गरीब घर से आता था, बट मेरे घर में मेरी मम्मी ने मेरे को हमेशा किंग की तरफ, मतलब मेरे घर में मैं किंग, मतलब मेरी बात सुनी जाती, सब कुछ होता था. तो आई थिंक यू एज अ किड, अगर आपके अंदर वो बन जाता है तो आप बाहर प्रोजेक्ट करते हो. तो मेरे दिमाग में मैं कभी भी गरीब नहीं था. मतलब मेरे दिमाग में मेरे को ये था कि भाई मैं ये हूं और मैं ये करूंगा, ये हो जाएगा, मुझे नहीं पता। जैसे मेरी छोटी बहन की शादी, मुझे पता था मेरे को आगे करानी है, बट मेरे दिमाग में ऑलरेडी था कि भाई ये होगा, अच्छी चीजें होंगी, एंड मैं तब तक कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ करके आई मेड श्योर कि भाई हर वेडिंग वाज pretty good, like not like a bड़ी, but it was very good, and at that time also I was thinking कि यार ये कैसे हो गया, कि ये कहाँ
हाँ
कैसे पहुंच गई, कि how were we able to do it, and then but like when I think back, मैंने जो पूरी अपनी जिंदगी में कई बार वो मोमेंट दिमाग में इमेजिन की थी, मैंने ऐसे इमेजिन करी थी कि बढ़िया ही होगा, अच्छा होगा, पता नहीं क्यों। तो वो
हाँ
मुझे लगता है कि बहुत सारे लोग, Sumit, like back of the mind, if you will also meditate over it, you will realize somewhere deep down your mind, that manifestation is there, right? You are manifesting something in the background, probably. Hmm.
कूल। आई थिंक इट्स अच्छा लगा है आपके बारे में। आई थिंक लोगों ने जाना, इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो द पर्सनल साइड, एंड बिकॉज क्रिप्टो के अंदर ना द पर्सनल साइड ऑफ अ फाउंडर इज एक्चुअली इक्वली important than what we are building. A lot of people know you, Sandeep. A lot of people love you for what you have done for India, for the global Web3 ecosystem. Indians love Matic, Indians love Po. A lot of people, and we'll talk about that. I think one of the important question in my mind, people love how bold you are, how aggressive you are, in taking bold bets. And today, the rest, second half, I am asking questions on behalf of millions of customers, CoinDCX users, and they want to know more about Matic. They want to know more about Paul. How did the migration happen? What actually happened? But before that, one very spicy question I want to ask you. I think few months back, few months back, there was a tweet that came up जहाँ पे आपने बोला था सीधा कि यार, I am taking the position of CEO of Polygon Foundation, right? As a CEO of Polygon Foundation. And मेरे को ना thought process बताओ उसके पीछे का, ऐसा क्या था कि आपने बोला यार, मतलब I want to go all in and cut the crap now. Let me just take up the driving seat and let me drive the vision for Polygon Foundation. What was the thought process and what did you want to achieve? आप क्या achieve करना चाह रहे थे by making that change? Just want to know the story.
Yeah, yeah, I think कि पहली बात तो कि जो ऑल इन, मतलब मैं हमेशा ही पॉलीगॉन पे ऑल इन, पॉलीगॉन इज माय मेन थिंग, लाइक आई मीन आई डू लाइक I have now people who manage like a angel fund, और वो angel fund भी मैंने इंडिया के फाउंडर्स के लिए खोला था बहुत ज्यादा. People know, how many Indian, because I faced a lot of problem when we were doing from India, like literally हमको 200K की फंडिंग मिली, 265K की फंडिंग, जो कि इंडिया में 2 करोड़ रुपए की फंडिंग, जो कि हमारे बाकी सारे कॉम्पिटिटर्स 100-200, मतलब $10 million is minimum funding people will raise. So I thought कि यार when Polygon, at that time, in many days of sadness, I used to think कि जब पॉलीगॉन बड़ा होगा ना, तब मैं, और देखो सही, तब भी मेरे दिमाग में ये मेरे को क्लियर था कि बड़ा होगा ये एक दिन, और जब बड़ा होगा तो उसके बाद मैं इंडिया के फाउंडर के साथ ये नहीं होने दूंगा. तो मैंने उस टाइम पे बहुत सारे इंडियन को फाउंडर्स में, पीपल डोंट इवन नो, कमिंग फ्रॉम दैट, एंड वंस आई गॉट द मनी, मैंने पर्सनली एंजल इन्वेस्ट किया होगा, मे बी 50-100 करोड़ पे इन्वेस्ट किया होगा, एटलीस्ट 10 मिलियन $15 million मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया होगा इंडिया फाउंडर्स में. And it was like kind of a rule at one time कि कोई भी इंडियन फाउंडर है, they can come and कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, अगर if I feel कि यार these are not scamming, if they are doing something good, then I will give them $10,000-$20,000 grant or this thing, and I openly used to say, go and tell that Sandeep is investing and raise money from there. A lot of projects did that. एंड तो वो है, और ये सब चीजें, मैं एआई वाले सेंटिएंट एआई में एज अ को-फाउंडर हूँ, बाकी 3 को-फाउंडर वहां रन करते हैं, बट फॉर मी पॉलीगॉन इज माय बेबी, राइट? लाइक सो आई हैव बीन ऑलवेज वेरी क्लोजली इन्वॉल्व, बट मैंने सीईओ टैग अभी हमेशा अवॉइड किया है, और बिकॉज वो सीईओ टैग में एक तो मेरा फंडामेंटल थीसिस था कि यार जो these platforms, they should not have the main figurehead, like Satoshi is a big example, Bitcoin में जो था ही नहीं. Vitalik also is technically CEO of Ethereum, but he never says कि मैं I am the CEO of Ethereum and you are a part of foundation. But then I think due to like बहुत सारे बीच में हमने इतनी सारी कंपनी एक्वायर की, को-फाउंडर्स आ गए और ये वो, और देन को-फाउंडर्स गए, और ये सब चीजें हुई, तो उसके बाद लोगों के मन में डाउट था कि कौन रहा है एग्जैक्टली. तो वो उसको क्लियर करने के लिए मैं आई वांटेड टू टेल पीपल कि यार आई एम स्टिल डूइंग इट, आई एम लाइक आफ्टर 8 years मैं स्टिल दिन में 10 घंटे काम करता हूँ, एंड आई थिंक यू नो मी, वी मीट मेनी टाइम्स, only thing
Yeah,
I'm discussing is like,
this work.
Polygon, how do we grow it to the next stage. So that is more of a key for Polygon community to know that I am the man in charge. Don't worry, I am still here and I'm working day in day out for this. That was the main thing for Polygon Foundation, and that I'm the CEO. Otherwise, I was always the chairman of Polygon Foundation. Most of the decisions come to me only. So big decisions actually, like I only approve the final thing, and then but I am also more somebody. That's one of the reasons I always wanted to avoid CEO tag, is because I want to focus more on growth. The CEO ke saath you get a lot of, like, Sumit, like, all hands, ये सबको ही tell देते हैं, और one on one, और ये वो. I don't like that. I don't enjoy that. Like,
Yeah.
I do zero one on ones. Like, anybody I want to work in Polygon team, I will just ping them directly और उनके साथ काम करूंगा और वो सब कुछ होगा. बट कोई रिपोर्टिंग वोटिंग स्ट्रक्चर मेरे को पसंद नहीं आता बिल्कुल भी, वो कॉर्पोरेट. तो I don't enjoy I start feeling this thing. But if I have to do it for Polygon, I will do it, but I don't enjoy it. तो इसलिए मैं CEO टैग्स हमेशा अवॉइड करता था कि भाई I don't need to handle this. But that's the thing. But main story is ki, and the Matic, we was previously called Matic, right? Matic network. Then we rebranded to Polygon because we wanted to be this multi-chain ecosystem and blah blah blah. And so उसकी वजह से, लेकिन हमारा Matic जो coin, the token was always Matic, which powers the whole economy or the social security or the socio-economic security of Polygon. But then we had promised that we will also rebrand the token to Pol. And I think that is also an important signal that Matic is now Pol, and everybody should know that. All people, I still feel that सब लोग नहीं जानते अभी कि भाई मैटिक इज पोल, क्योंकि वो बाइनेंस ने उसको और कई कुछ एक्सचेंजेस ने उसको वैसा कर दिया कि मैटिक को डीलिस्ट कर दिया, और लोगों को लगा रहे मैटिक डीलिस्ट हो रहा है, बट एक्चुअली वो अपग्रेड हो गया पोल में. तो वो आई थिंक वी वांट टू कम्युनिकेट टू एवरीबॉडी, और सबको पता लगना भी जरूरी है. और वो धीरे धीरे वो माइग्रेशन अभी कंप्लीट हुआ है, उसको 6 महीने लगे. 99.5% people have migrated to Pol, and now we would be doing a lot of educational campaigns तो लोगों को ये पता लगे कि यार Matic is Pol is Matic basically.
Yeah, I think Matic was very, very hot like couple of years, 3 years back, right? Pretty much, I think millions of people and a lot of Indians were holding Matic, right? But I think what people don't know is that Matic has migrated or upgraded to Pol now, right? And it's the same thing, right? It's just a lot more powerful. And I think good that you highlighted, because when I talk to our customers, a lot of people love Matic, a lot of people love Pol, but many don't know about the migration. So tell us, like, what was the need to even do the migration? I just want to spend a couple of minutes there. दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था कि इसको अपन अपग्रेड करते हैं, रीनेम करते हैं, एंड ब्रांड आइडेंटिटी जो मैटिक ने स्ट्रांग बनाई थी.
नहीं, there were technical reasons for this, because हम पहले जब हमने मैटिक नेटवर्क था, we were a single chain blockchain, but now we are a multi chain. We have Stack, people are launching, OKX as a chain, and many other large companies are looking to launch chains and all that. And so it is a multi-chain ecosystem. So the token originally was a fixed supply, one single chain token, but then this is a multi-chain token, like just like all other Ethereum, Solana. This has some inflation which funds new chains, new ecosystem growth and all that. It needs that. So वो पिछले टोकन में पॉसिबल नहीं था, इसलिए हमको अपग्रेड करना पड़ा वो टोकन. और आई थिंक इन द हाइंडसाइट, एक्चुअली मैं सोच भी रहा हूँ कि एक पोल मैं चालू करनी चाहिए, पोल एज इन ट्विटर पोल, कि हाइंडसाइट शुड वी हैव, लाइक, इवन दो वी हैड टू टेक्निकली अपग्रेड द टोकन, अपने को नाम मैटिक रखना चाहिए था क्या? वो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि भाई नाम मैटिक ही छोड़ देते क्या, पता नहीं. मतलब इन द हाइंडसाइट इट लुक्स कि वी नेवर रियली थॉट कि ये बहुत सारे लोग जो हैं वो मैटिक को ज्यादा जानते हैं, पॉलीगॉन या पोल को समझने से ज्यादा, क्योंकि मैटिक अपने आप में इज अ वेरी बिग ब्रांड. And which we did not consider. I thought कि people know Matic is Polygon.
जो लोग एक्चुअली पिछले साइकिल में थे ना 20-21 वाली बुल साइकिल में, उनको तो जो अभी रिसेंटली एक्टिव उनको तो पूरा पता होगा, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है। बट जो 21 में आए थे और 21 वाले बुल साइकिल में आए थे एंड आफ्टर दैट दे आर सॉर्ट ऑफ नॉट एक्टिव एनीमोर, आई थिंक उनके लिए शायद इतना नहीं होगा, बट आई थिंक आई विल make it a point, and I think if CoinDCX team is hearing this, or I will sort of do some poll and tweet and see how what people, because it's important to understand, do people
Correct.
actually do it or
Correct.
not, right?
No, you actually is good. You should do it. You should do
Okay.
it. अपने आप में एक poll run करो और इसमें check करो लोगों से कि भाई what if people say, then we'll do a global poll also, because then renaming is like we have to just call all the exchanges and say कि यार can you just the ticker name, can you just keep it Matic only, put it Matic. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. Maybe you guys तुम लोग को evaluate करो कि क्या क्या change करना पड़ेगा. मतलब I don't think कि कुछ अपने को खाली नाम ही change करना है ना. तो maybe because this I have heard from many people. But other thought process is कि यार ठीक है अब ये कर दिया change हमें. We have to do other things like we are basically कम लोगों को इसलिए भी पता है क्योंकि Ethereum itself पूरी की पूरी एक bad cycle में Ethereum went into a bad cycle, so all the Ethereum layer 2s also got into a very bad cycle, and due to that like these tokens have been in the low momentum state. Low momentum state में और difficult होता है पता करना. But maybe like on the ticker where the poll is written, but you don't want to add multiple tickers, but can we say poll bracket Matic, but that will be like 9 characters. Will it be good? Like 10 character ticker. You won't like it, right? As an exchange, you'll say, "No, this choice."
It's non-standard, but I think it's interesting. What do people know? But I think what you are telling us is that Matic equals to poll and poll equals to Matic. I think this is what people, many people, if they don't know, I think they should realize it. But I will make it a point to do a poll and get a sense check from our customers on what do they think about it. संदीप, मेरे को ये भी बताओ कि यार हुआ क्या है. So I think एक साल हो गया when this upgrade happened from Matic to poll. What all happened in the last few months at Polygon? Can you tell us can you give all of us a sneak peek? What all exciting stuff you are working on? क्या चल रहा है, क्या मचा रहे हो पीछे?
यार बिगेस्ट थिंग इज आप लोग देखो पॉली मार्केट जो है कीप्स ग्रोइंग. अभी एक्स ट्विटर ने जो नाउ एक्स ने अपना उनके साथ एक्सक्लूसिव पार्टनरशिप करी है. आई थिंक President Trump's family is now closely involved. This is going back to US also. So many things are happening there. Then मतलब कुछ applications हैं जो break out कर रही हैं. जैसे Courtyard एक और application है, NFT, Pokemon is become very big. So there are like some large scale applications which are becoming big on Polygon. Then but the biggest thing is what we are seeing is payments. On payments, Polygon is growing like crazy. Like I mean, अगर आप लोग जो लोग भी fundamental study करते हैं, अगर वो लोग study करेंगे तो Polygon payments में I think by number of users, USDC we are the number 1 blockchain. USDT we are number 3 blockchain by number of users, daily active users, and by non-USD stable coins, Polygon has 60% market share, 60% globally. सारे नॉन यूएस स्टेबल कॉइन, चाहे वो ब्राजील BRL हो या फिलीपीन पेसो हो, ये बहुत सारे SGD, सिंगापुर डॉलर, they are all primarily minted on Polygon, and that's where the markets are, and that's where we are growing also. USDT 0 for example जो है उसकी largest supply, जो USDT का cross chain version है, उसकी largest supply recently crossed $3 billion in stable coins also. So that fundamental growth, it is constantly growing, and stable coin growth is not speculative growth. Like बहुत सारी chains बोलेंगे कि हमारा TVL जो है वो $20 billion हो गया, but वो इसलिए नहीं हुआ कि वहां पे नया पैसा आ गया. It was just there कि वहां पे Ethereum, उनका Ethereum था, Ethereum double हो गया तो वो $10 billion TVL दिखा. लेकिन stable coin is all new money because it's not growing speculatively. So a lot of these fronts, positive things. Fundamentally, Polygon is, I think, like Polygon is much stronger than ever before. But obviously, in the markets and momentum of the token and all that, it's not there. But there are so many things that are happening. We are also, the standard activities that are happening that you can see for crypto projects. Many crypto projects are going into the capital markets in NASDAQ and this and that. So all of those things people are doing in Polygon ecosystem also, and hopefully some of them will succeed, but we are mostly focused on fundamentals right now. As we keep growing the fundamentals, I think results will come out.
Yeah, one very interesting thing about you, Sandeep, is that you are always committed to building for the long term, and that's something that मैंने काफी time देखा है. मतलब इतने सालों से, almost like a decade, right? You've been building stuff in Web3, and I think you mentioned very very interesting point कि non-USD stable coins में Polygon is number one, 60% market share.
60% market share, yes.
Wow.
Yes,
That's
this graphic was shared by, if you Google or Twitter पे search करोगे, you will find that graphic. Maybe I'll send you. And that's a very big statistic that people are not seeing.
And you also mentioned one very interesting tweet, and media reached out to me asking कि यार what's your take on this? And you mentioned that within 3 months, you almost guarantee that someone will launch an INR stable coin, and बहुत लोग
उन्होंने बोल दिया मैं launch, India will launch. मैंने बोला someone will launch, because there are a lot of people who are working on Indian stable coins. We know this, like I know that there is a lot of resistance also, but I think some of our regulatory bodies, they still need to do a little bit more deeper dive into this, because they think कि on a higher level a USD stable coin is bad, so INR stable coin will also be bad. But I think when they go deep enough, I think they will realize that this is net beneficial for us. This might stop a lot of problems that they are seeing with the USD and other stable coins. And that's why I feel that there are like some some initiatives which I am very bullish on, that they will be able to deliver it. And my goal as a Indian, as a very patriotic Indian, is like India should not be left behind in this. अपने को एक्सपेरिमेंट करना चाहिए, ठीक है, कुछ नहीं समझ में आएगा, कुछ गलत हो रहा होगा तो उसको चेंज करेंगे, ठीक करेंगे, बट दिस एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन नीड्स टू कीप ऑन हैपनिंग इन इंडिया. कुछ स्टार्टअप्स को करना चाहिए ये, और देखते हैं वहां से क्या निकल के आएगा.
100% spot on. I think this is what drives innovation forward, and I fully agree. And I think if Polygon is leading the way for stablecoin adoption, non-USD outside US, right? I think that's a massive value. Almost $300 billion locked in stablecoins, and right now this is like less than 1%, less than non-USD backed stablecoins. And if eventually other countries will see that, and they don't want their economy to be dollarized, and they would definitely, the answer to that is their local stablecoins, and that alone, billions of dollars of value coming in. And if that's happening on Polygon, then I think it's a massive, it's a smart move, Sandeep, I would say. And clearly, I think stablecoin activity on Polygon is thriving. You have tweeted about it a lot. I saw one tweet of yours where you mentioned that Polygon is the first chain, and you mentioned it again. और क्या आप सोच रहे हो, like what other use cases or applications that you're bullish on in general as part of Polygon ecosystem? Like Solana talks about meme coins a lot. I don't know if you guys have done a lot of work there, but what exactly are you doubling down on?
This is the part, like we as a utilitarian country, because I am also there, so I am generally my focus is not on these extremely speculative use cases. Some might say like crypto token वाले लोग कहेंगे कि यार ये तो अच्छी बात नहीं है, मतलब you have to have speculative use cases चाहिए अपने को, and probably for the token value and all that. But I am not the I would say perfect innovator. Like जो meme coin will become this big. I never even knew that.
By the way, Indians love meme coins, right? As you know, and they love coins which are like very low in value, and I think there's a lot of बढ़ जाएंगे और वो बहुत चलता है. I think big gap in terms of understanding. So can you just clarify your thinking on what do you want Indians to keep in mind, and what are the use cases that like you want कि यार ये तो बढ़ेगा ही बढ़ेगा, and Polygon is doubling down on that.
मैं वही कह रहा हूँ कि जो मीम कॉइन्स मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता. इंडियन देखो, एक बार मीम कॉइन निकाल दिया किसी ने और वो बढ़ रहा है, उस पर स्पेकुलेशन सबको समझ में आता है. बट मीम कॉइन निकालना चाहिए, जैसे pump.fun हो गए, जो सोलाना वाले मीम कॉइन वाले वो है. pump.fun बनाना चाहिए कि हजारों लोग आके अपने मीम कॉइन मिंट करेंगे यहाँ पे और वो मीम कॉइन लॉन्च होंगे. ये सोचना, उसके लिए एक अलग ही माइंडसेट चाहिए. उसके लिए वो 15, 16, 17 साल वाले बच्चे चाहिए जो कि वो करें. वो मेरा माइंडसेट नहीं है. माय माइंडसेट इज कि भाई for Polygon, I want to grow Polygon in the payments ecosystem. I want to grow Polygon in the multi-chain, जैसे large enterprises, आप देखो from Geo to global enterprises, like दुनिया के सबसे Stripe हम देख रहे हैं, Circle, they all are launching their own chains. I want Polygon to play there, जहाँ पे कि वो chain लगे, और मेरा ये मानना है कि long term में eventually the more meaningful activities will survive more. Meme coins देखो आए चले गए, right? अब क्या है, अब वो जो इतने बड़े बड़े meme coin होते हैं, कोई भी नहीं, अब छोटे छोटे होते हैं, बहुत छोटे, and then you know, and उसमें बहुत सारा scam और ये सब चीजें, मतलब fraud और ये सब होता है. तो I am not interested in that, like, और not only interested, मेरे को समझ भी नहीं आता वो ज्यादा, right? So I will do what I understand more, and I think I understand payments, financial infrastructure more. And that's where Polygon is focused on. Polygon is trying to become the payments and financial infrastructure, new age payments and financial infrastructure for the world. Yeah, that's what we'll keep doing. Payments, stable coins, RWAs. Like RWAs, we are like I think rank two by number of protocols issued like after Ethereum, जिसमें कि बड़े-बड़े banks, बड़े-बड़े hedge funds ये सब अपने RWAs issue कर रहे हैं. And और उसमें बहुत सारे अभी गोल्ड इशू होना है, बहुत सारे लोग बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं उसमें. And by TVL also we'll be number 3, and I think in some time we might become number 1 in TVL also with the kind of projects that are coming in RWA. So payments, stablecoin, RWA, multi-chain, like the enterprise chains. These are the 3-4 main key focus areas for us, and we will only keep playing there. And we strongly believe that there is a lot of fundamental value to be created there.
Very clear. And I think you believe that by cracking and by solving use cases like this is how we will be able to get billion people on chain, not just by speculative activity. And I think and by the way, India is a massive market, right? I mean, even for Polygon, massive market, number 2 right now in terms of number of developers, number 1, like 3 years in a row, man. Like sometimes it's difficult to believe that what goldmine we guys are sitting on. And I think the moment regulatory clarity opens up, I think it's just going to be a big boost to everyone who is sort of either building for India directly or indirectly. And Polygon, given the genesis of how Polygon came up, I think you guys have very strong attachment to India, and that's the reason why Indians sort of love you. एक और क्वेश्चन जो मेरे को चैट पे दिख रहा है अभी संदीप इज लाइक लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर आस्किंग कि पॉलीगॉन अभी प्राइस डाउन है, यू नो, काफी टाइम से. आई थिंक वन थिंग दैट यू हैव कवर्ड इज बिकॉज़ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डोंट, उनको नहीं समझ में आया अभी कि यार मैटिक अब पॉलीगॉन हो गया है. सो आई थिंक दैट इज वन पॉइंट यू हैव क्लैरिफाइड वेरी क्लियर टू एवरीवन. But lot of people still hold Paul, right? And
yes.
What is the bullish case for Paul? Where do you see it going from here? And what do you want to say to those audience? Why should they hold, invest, buy, or tell us anything that will help Paul investors get clarity?
ठीक है. So first, like obviously disclaimer, not financial advice. किसी को नहीं पता मार्केट्स कहाँ जाएंगी. बट मैं लोगों को एक स्टैटिस्टिक्स देना चाहता हूँ. देखो इथीरियम आज $4,400 पे है, राइट? हमारा जो ये प्राइस इथीरियम, मैंने बोला कि इथीरियम का प्राइस और ये जो पूरी लेयर 2 का प्राइस मोमेंटम खराब हो गया था बिकॉज सोलाना बिकेम बिग. तो एवरीबॉडी थॉट कि यार इथीरियम माइट नॉट बी द नंबर 1 L1. उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ कि इथीरियम का प्राइस गया, तो ऑल सारे लेयर 2 का और ज्यादा प्राइस सप्रेस हो गया. अभी क्या हुआ है कि इथीरियम वापस 4,400 पे आ गया. जब पिछली बार इथीरियम 4,400 के अराउंड दिस प्राइस पे था, तो बाकी के L2s जो कि सब स्टार्ट ही हुए थे, पॉलीगॉन भी स्टार्ट ही हुआ था, उन सब की वैल्यूएशन मिला के अराउंड $50-60 बिलियन होती थी. आज इथीरियम वापस वहीं पहुंच गया $500 बिलियन की वैल्यूएशन पे. पर जो बाकी सब L2s हैं जो कि मच बिगर हो चुके हैं, जिनके पास बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स TVLs हैं, हमारे पास आर्बिट्रन के पास, उन सबकी कंबाइंड वैल्यूएशन 10 या 12 बिलियन है. जब कुछ नहीं था 2021 में, तो L2 $60 बिलियन की वैल्यूएशन थी, मतलब 5x. तो वैसे भी L2s की रीप्राइसिंग होनी चाहिए. किस L2 की होगी, किस L2 को उसका ज्यादा बड़ा शेयर मिलेगा, ये दिस इज एनीबॉडीज गेस. बट आइडियली देयर शुड बी अ रीप्राइसिंग इवेंट ऑफ L2s. दिस इज माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ऑब्वियसली आई एम बायस्ड बिकॉज मैं पॉलीगॉन की साइड से हूं, ये सब चीजें. लेकिन और मैं फाइनेंशियल एडवाइस नहीं दे रहा हूं, मैं सिर्फ अपना फंडामेंटल थीसिस बता रहा हूं कि इथीरियम हैज बीन रीप्राइस्ड अगेन. L2s have not been repriced again in the market, and that repricing will also happen. I think that's why Pole, Optimism, Arbitrum, जो अच्छे L2s हैं, they will see some sort of repricing in the coming days is my prediction. Like Ethereum की prediction, शुभम, सुमित तुमने देखा होगा, मैंने जनवरी फरवरी में बोला था कि Ethereum's turn around is around the corner, it will melt face on Twitter पे मैंने डाला था, वो होने में जून के बाद वो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन 3-4 महीने लग गए. सेम थिंग मैं L2s के बारे में बोल रहा हूँ कि that L2s thing is upon us, it will happen sooner or later. Yeah.
Interesting. So I think there was a report I read very recently from Coinbase. I think वो बोल रहे थे कि altcoin season is here and all the L2s and all the other coins. I think it's interesting. Interesting times we are sitting in. And what else? I think this is the last thing, and then I know we are almost out of time. Or बताओ Sandeep, like tell us something interesting about that you see about Polygon ecosystem, about the overall markets that others don't know or that others can learn from. Because you are like right at the center, you see things every day. A lot of people don't know. तो एक आप Polygon के बारे में बताओ, things that people don't know about, and tell us about the market in general, things that all these people should know that others don't know about.
So पहली बात Polygon के मामले में, what people are still thinking of Polygon as a crypto company only, blockchain infrastructure company. और blockchain infrastructure generally अभी दुनिया में जो जैसे स्ट्राइप ऑफ ब्लॉकचेन, जिनके पास भी कंज्यूमर एक्सेस है, वो कंपनियां कंज्यूमर डायरेक्ट कंज्यूमर रिलेशनशिप है, they are able to do better on the infrastructure side. So Polygon also has become, but people are not realizing, Polygon has become a payment specific company. Like actually it's more of a payment. I see Polygon as more of a payments company now than a blockchain infrastructure only company. We are doing stuff which will have consumer relationships and at least B2B relationships directly, who are doing the consumer relationships and all that. So first, keep Polygon is a more of a payments company like Visa, Mastercard, Stripe, उस रेंज में, उस डायरेक्शन में निकल चुकी है. और धीरे धीरे वो इट विल लुक, और नॉट ओनली Polygon, दूसरी चेन्स भी ऐसे ही लगेंगी धीरे धीरे, लेकिन Polygon is in that direction. Over next, like if you ask me long enough, अगले 1-2 साल में भी देखोगे, और 5 से 10 साल में these will morph into some sort of payments and financial infrastructure companies, just like Stripe, Visa, Mastercard. Second part is that what is happening globally on the blockchain space is key infrastructure projects. I mean this what actually it's visible also कि blockchain world, जो tokens की दुनिया और जो stocks की दुनिया बहुत merge हो रही है, and they are like ये जो आप DAT companies देख रहे हैं ना, जितनी भी digital asset treasury companies in Nasdaq, they are nothing but those assets are getting listed on Nasdaq in one form, because अभी वो MNAV उनकी जो base asset holding है और जो कंपनी की प्राइसिंग है थोड़ी सी प्रीमियम रहता है उसमें वो, लेकिन एक टाइम के बाद ऑलमोस्ट सेम लेवल पे आ जाएगा जहां पे कि, तो दिस इज लाइक अ लिटरली अ नैस्डैक लिस्टिंग, और ये ग्लोबली हो रहा है. इंडिया में तो बहुत कम लोग अभी इसको देख रहे हैं क्योंकि इंडिया में शायद रिस्ट्रिक्शंस भी ज्यादा है, बट दिस इज गोइंग टू कीप हैपनिंग मोर एंड मोर एंड मोर. And basically what this will make is this will make a lot of projects like standard coins and all that, but beyond that, more than infrastructure, it will be app coins, like which have some sort of apps. Like right now you see Hyperliquid is the most popular coin these days, right? Like, but it's an app, it's a coin of an app. Even I would say Ethena is becoming big these days, right? And Ethena is also in some form it's also a consumer use case, even though they launch a stable coin and all that, but their actually users are depositing and generating this stable coin. So these kind of use cases and these kind of projects you will see more and more and more, who will be app coins, and they will become big.
I mean, like, the hype started with an app coin, but now trying to build an ecosystem around them. I think they recently launched stable coin as well. I don't know what, but I think, I mean, over time they want to sort of get larger pie. But I think it's interesting.
They will. I think that's a good story for them. But I think fundamentally they want to grow their exchange. If they keep growing their exchange, like you see Binance, for example, backward integrated their chain, and that chain is now BNB chain is actually on many aspects it's bigger than even Ethereum, I would say. or much bigger than Solana, by the way, much bigger.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. When can people see you in India? When are you coming to India next, Sandeep?
आई थिंक दिसंबर में अपन जो इंडिया ब्लॉकचेन वीक है उसमें मैं आऊंगा, और मैं इंडिया आता रहता हूँ, मैं मंडे भी इंडिया जाऊंगा दिल्ली. लास्ट वीक आई वाज इन मुंबई. एवरी मंथ एटलीस्ट वन टाइम आई गो टू इंडिया.
न्यूज में काफी सुनते रहते हैं कि आपने कभी कोई ये पार्टनरशिप, आई थिंक IRCTC पार्टनरशिप केम अप, वाज अनाउंस्ड आई थिंक few months back, and then you guys did a mega announcement with Jio, and I can imagine for that you need to.
Actually, we had a very big announcement coming in the RMG gaming sector, but then the RMG, or the law came and the whole RMG sector got wiped out.
So you were also impacted by that.
In some
What was it about? What was it about?
I mean, it was like, this whole gaming, RMG
Yeah.
gaming industry acquiring, adopting some more provenance structures. Like provenance as in like putting the data on chain and all that.
Got it. Interesting. Chalo, look forward to seeing you cracking more partnerships in India and beyond, Sandeep. I think this is interesting. A lot of people got clarity on migration from Matic to Pol. They got clarity on key where the focus areas are for Polygon ecosystem. You mentioned RWA. You mentioned about payments. It's going to be a payment company like Visa, Mastercard. I think, and also of course you give clarity on where do you see a Polygon ecosystem a few years down the line, and where do you see crypto markets going in the future. I think all of this is very, very helpful. Fantastic. I don't have any more questions, Sandeep.
मेरे पास सुमित एक दो क्वेश्चंस थे तुम्हारे लिए, लेकिन आई थिंक वी हैव रन आउट ऑफ टाइम. बट मेनली मुझे ये पूछना था कि इंडिया का नाम हमेशा नंबर 1 आता रहता है ग्रास रूट लेवल पे, क्रिप्टो अडॉप्शन. टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटीज में इतना क्रिप्टो अडॉप्शन हमें दिखता है. व्हाट आर द ट्रेंड्स की ग्रास रूट ट्रेंड्स दैट यू सी, जिसकी वजह से इंडिया में ऐसा है? मतलब इतनी रिस्ट्रिक्शन होने के बाद भी इंडिया में हर दूसरे सर्वे में आता है कि इंडियन नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स इन इंडिया, बिटकॉइन होल्डर्स इन इंडिया आर द is second largest and all that. तो वो कैसे हो रहा है, और मतलब how is it possible in this context?
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, if you ask me, I think this India surprised me as well. I did not know that we at some point we will have like 20 million users. By the way, we have 20 million registered users. If you compare that with equity markets, तो comparable ऐसा नहीं कि मतलब बहुत कम है, और अभी तो रेगुलेशन आए भी नहीं है. तो मेरे को लगता है and India loves crypto, and you know that, I know that Indians love crypto. They are even if you look at MetaMask users, if you look at wallet holders, if you look at crypto holders, like India stacks right at the top of it, simply because highest concentration of tech savvy young population who are using internet like 6 to 8 hours a day. And India में ना like एक तो sheer population में like 1.5 billion 1.4 1.5 billion people using internet many hours a day, not just from tier 1 cities, but it's now tier 2 tier 3 cities as well. तो अगर आप नॉर्थ के किसी गांव में जाओगे, उनसे पूछोगे यार पॉल क्या है, उनको पता होगा. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल.
हाँ, मैंने ये भी देखा, लोग पॉलीगॉन में, उत्तराखंड में मुझे कोई बता रहा था कि लोग पॉलीगॉन मेटामास्क वॉलेट यूज करके पैसे भी भेजते हैं यहाँ से वहां में, और वो भी बिल्कुल टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटी में.
हाँ, सबको यार लोगों को दिखता है यार कि यार ये इंडस्ट्री है जो चमकती है, उनको टेक्नोलॉजी समझ में आता है, मजा आता है, इंटरनेट पे टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं, देखते हैं कि यार यहाँ पे मैं पैसा कमा सकता हूँ, भले वो 200 500 1000 रुपए डेली का हो. जब एक्सी इन्फिनिटी वगैरह चले थे, बहुत सारे लोग इंडिया से करते थे. मतलब एयरड्रॉप फार्मिंग इज मैसिव, एंड लॉट ऑफ दीज यूट्यूबर्स हैव आल्सो डन लॉट ऑफ कंटेंट अराउंड इट. हैमस्टर, रिमेंबर हैमस्टर कॉम्बैट एक चला था गेम, तो लाइक someone was telling me that I think 25-30% of the users were from India. So one is massive population, massive internet adoption. All of these users sort of understand technology, they love it, they are on mobile phones doing things, they have a lot of time available, and if they can figure out a way to make money online, they would just like sort of do it. And I think the growing digital infrastructure that India has built over the last many years also just accelerates everything. The good part that I see that is and I spoke about that as well in the past, is that if we really want to drive mass adoption of crypto technologies and mass adoption of Web3, I think it cannot happen without India. And I think India, just because of the sheer size, scale, population, all of that, India is going to be a leader. A lot of people can counter me on that, but I think in the coming 5 to 10 years, we will actually see that happening. And I think all of these things that we see, like number one, 3 years in a row, all of these are early signs of that. There is a possibility that India we'll see like many more new unicorns or massive consumer applications and Web3 coming out from India. I think the only thing that restricts the developers or the builders is just like some regulatory clarity. But when that happens, I think we are going to see an exponential growth in the times to come. I am very bullish on it, and that's the reason I don't give up on India. Like no matter what, but I think it's time, that you and I and many other founders sort of continue to work together and at least do that, because अगर अपन लोग नहीं करेंगे तो कौन करेगा, right? And I think when we do that and when we see that happening, I think it's just a good feeling, right? It's not about money, it's not about the business, it's just about seeing that change happening. And kudos to you, Sandeep, and your team and everyone out there who is making this change happen. And yeah, I think exciting times ahead for India.
Same to you, Sumit, by the way. Keep doing the good work, and especially अभी थोड़े दिन पहले जो hack वगैरह हुआ, you guys handle it like so professionally, and this gives confidence, like users को भी confidence आएगा कि यार this exchange is safe for us. Like no matter what happens, they will take care of users, and users were never impacted in the first place. And very interesting story, one security professional was telling me that actually even technically you guys handled it very well, because you guys had so many, तुम लोगों के इतने सारे चेक पॉइंट्स थे कि वो ज्यादा अंदर तक आ ही नहीं पाया जो अटैक था. वो अटैक मतलब वो बाहर वाले ही एक दो वॉलेट्स में निकल गया. तो which is also very good, amazing work from you guys. You guys also build for the long term, so hopefully.
Yeah, every day is a learning, and see, idea is to continue building and continue building for India, and of course for you it's your आप एक दिल तो इंडिया में ही है ना, मतलब India, and then build globally. So I think all the best to you, Sandeep, and your team for all the great work you're doing. And I think like I mentioned at the start, it's my job to sort of ask all the questions that our customers had, and the team came up with this idea कि यार संदीप से बात करते हैं. A lot of people love you, they want to see you. So I thought, let's just do that. And I think if opportunity comes, we'll keep on doing more and more of this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sumit. Thank you, CoinDCX team, for
Fantastic.
arranging. Thanks
for your time, Sandeep.
Bye.
Chalo, bye.
Bye.